do everything that they can to take this map away from Elevate, win it, and then push to series point on map number 2. Let's dig in, Mandy!
Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe that we actually got taken to Clubhouse of all the maps. Like they're saying, I guess it's a very strong map for Cyclops, so I really want to see them perform on this, but I'm interested to see how Elevate interpret their strategies and their gameplay as well. So first ban that comes out is the Monty ban.
Wow.
I
Love
feel like
that from Elevate.
an absolute staple for Cyclops as well. So
I mean, if you know you're playing against Aniton, you're going to ban out Monty.
Yeah. Next ban coming out is going to be Thatcher as well, so it does mean that Maverick will be coming into play. We'll have to see the walls get open with Maverick tricking rather than, and Bandit tricking is out of the equation pretty much here, with Kaid also being taken out after Thatcher, which makes complete sense as well.
The thing with that Kaid ban as well is because we have attacker repick, you can get rid of the Maverick if you're attacking basement. If you just want to run the Hibana, maybe a Thermite, you don't necessarily need to bring Maverick, even though you would want him for that top floor. Valkyrie banned out as the final operator. We've seen both of these teams really good at using those cameras to make aggressive plays, particularly on those roams. So that will be potentially quashed a little bit, but let's be honest, we're still going to see some crazy aggression.
So I think the point that you made about Thatcher and Kaid being banned together is actually quite interesting. It means that, like you said, Maverick isn't mission critical to the attack anymore. So now we can see Cyclops picking their attacking lineup here. We have Glaz, we have Twitch, we have only Hibana as the sole hard breach here, so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on this drone phase to figure out where the site is so they can, I guess, analyze how much hard breach they need to bring here. We already see a swap off onto the Ace actually from the Glaz, so I assume they wanted to play the Glaz for the breach plays or something like that, and now they've anticipated that's going to be the basement site. I
think most teams, you see pick Glaz and you're thinking, come on, they're trolling. They're definitely going to be repicking off that. No, Cyclops, you cannot take anything for granted. Cyclops could be running a Nook, Amaru, Glaz, Carly lineup, and you still would think, hey, there's a decent chance they'll actually stick that into the action phase. That is the Cyclops way. They are known for doing things that are unconventional, that are strange, that are weird, that sometimes can be a bit questionable, but man, it is beautiful when it works correctly.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoy watching Cyclops, their version of dissecting strategies and I guess attacking such a map of Clubhouse, and especially to Elevate as well. I'm just so interested to see how they'll approach this building. So Elevate looking for an extended roam here. They've got both the hatches open, one in Barn, one in construction. So roam is able to fall off here in the form of Mark and Mr. Punch, the infamous duo here from South. And it seems like Cyclops going for a garage sweep across the map. So Gatorada already outside on the balcony there with Ayagator opening up the jacuzzi wall for the pinch. So very a textbook opening here for Cyclops.
CAG opting to address head-on this roam game. Leave no stone unturned in doing so. Elevate. The roamers will feel the full brunt of that pressure, and Mark is the first one to go down. Up in Jim upstairs, loses his life to Gatorada, but elsewhere, his Joe and Mr. Punch can take down the ace player in Ayagator. That is a huge pick now for Elevate. Can Mr. Punch get back safely? Black Ray is watching his cutoff from outside storage window, and Mr. Punch goes down.
That was just such a textbook hammer and anvil kind of roam clear coming out from Cyclops, and now they can start working on the mid-round. Gatorada, he's going to be wanting to play in kitchen for some of that vertical, but is being contested by Onigiri at the moment, so they'll have to take care going through the mid-round. A minute 30 seconds left is actually plenty of time here for the roam clear. I just feel like Elevate haven't got heaps and heaps of value out of this roam so far.
Especially considering Elevate have already pre-opened so many of these hatches, it means that a lot of that time burnt is not really as valuable. Cyclops still have a lot of time left. Can Onigiri get back to site? He does. We also saw Aniton on the Twitch earlier getting great value out of those shock drones by destroying those Vulcan canisters that DCH, the Goyo, had put out.
Now we see Black Ray starting to shape up for a blue stairs push while the rest of their team faces off into kitchen and seeing if they can find any grenade kills or just trying to pick off more of these Elevate players before they enter the site directly. But 3-on-4, the trade should work out here for Cyclops.
Man advantage is critical. CAG are looking very well organized. The question is, where will this push go down? Opening up the kitchen hatch now. CAG have just about every possible avenue they could want on this attack.
30 seconds left, and actually that's the kit being C4'd now on top of the hatch. Suzu will have to recover that, but is being challenged by DCH. Only 20 seconds left to go, and the man count is starting to go down here for Cyclops.
Oh, but another great pick from Suzu. Puts the team on his back, and he'll try and force that diffuser down. Sapper has an opportunity to clutch for the team, an impact grenade to go out. He has to 1 versus 2, but he has information. Black Ray to cover, and now Suzu, after planting that diffuser, is watching and looking for a 3rd kill. He falls back, giving Sapper the opportunity to walk on in and take down his teammates. Suzu going to rotate to the kitchen hatch. Will Sapper have time? He's on that diffuser. Suzu is there for the 3K, and Cyclops can take the first round.
Wow, that was such a good round coming out from Cyclops. They did an absolutely textbook perfect clear of the top floor, the hammer and the anvil. They had the hard breach player open up jacuzzi wall, anticipating the roamers will fall back. They even had Black Ray a step ahead of that on the blue stairs to cut off another roamer. And on top of that, using the vertical lines they had and the hatch control to eventually pick out the defenders and leaving Sapper in a very difficult 1 versus 3 post-plant situation. It's very hard to win with that kitchen hatch open as well. So Cyclops playing that to perfection. Then Elevate just didn't get much value out of that roam in the early game.
And at what point do we start to find some concern for Elevate? This was, of course, a strong map for them for a very long time, until they lost it to Renatus in the opening match of APAC South this split. And so now Elevate are sitting there thinking, okay, we're going against Cyclops on their map pick. It's not going to be easy. They've seen our weaknesses on this map before, and they'll be coming into these playoffs ready to exploit. Elevate, though, won't dwell too much on the errors of their past. They're going to change bomb site immediately, and we see Gym and Bedroom taken out straight away. So we're not going to as much be focusing on that roam game that you highlighted Elevate fell prey to last round.
So Elevate now opting to go for Gym and Bedroom. Seems like CCTV and Cache has actually fallen a little bit out of fashion now, being actually one of the more attacker-sided bomb sites as well. So Elevate opting to go for Gym and Bedroom, which is typically a tertiary site, but still playing the extension over into CCTV and Cache, with Mark now playing on the rafters, trying to look for the early entry into Garage, anticipating Cyclops will do the same kind of push where they sweep across the map. So now we see Suzu getting open the CCTV breach. Maybe they will go in for an entry here and try and clear out Mr. Punch, oh sorry, Mark. And yeah, we'll have to see how CAG will approach the bomb site.
For now, it's a slow attack from CAG, just doing the due diligence and opening up all of this hard breach. And you can see Elevate really haven't brought much wall denial. And Cyclops, having brought the Kali as well, can make short work of any wall denial that they have brought. So that's a breach on CCTV and a breach on Jacuzzi. Fantastic early openings for Cyclops.
And this is quite a fun approach here from Anderson using the Kali. Because there's Kali, Maverick is no longer critical to this push to get the walls open. On top of that, Anderson is also using the Kali to get open some of the hatches. We've just seen the Logi hatch be opened and play long angles into the site, which are very hard for the defenders to contest. So again, we can see Cyclops, they bring along very unconventional strategies. We don't normally see something like this in South, so this is very exciting for us to watch here. Arigata now rotating over to Logi. Seems like they're going to have to start clearing this power position so that they can look for the execute a little later on into the round.
While Cyclops do have some nice unconventional strategies that might have made this push a bit faster than normal, they were met with an unfortunate early loss. Gatorada on the sledge, and of course the nades to go with it. So Elevate, Onigiri in particular, finding that pick. We've talked extensively about how valuable Onigiri is. He broke the 6 Invitational single map kill record at this SR just passed, and is looking to return to an international event if he can qualify through the major. Only needs to win 2 best-of-3s here in the playoffs to go to Charlotte.
There's a lot of hype here for Onigiri from Elevate. He's really showed up in the past few months, especially at international events, but he'll have to show up in this game if they want to get to the next one. And there we go, speak of the devil, and he's gone. Now, Cyclops looking for 2 picks actually, so bringing the player advantage into their hands. Bathroom is open, so that's power position gone as well, but they still have to deal with the player in Logi. And that's Black Ray taking down Logistics player as well, 35 seconds left to go.
You just say go, and Cyclops get in. And just like that, indeed, the last 2 picks come out very swiftly. They walked on in through the breaches that they'd made far earlier, isolated the final players and took them down. Pretty easy, if we're honest, for Cyclops at the end of it, and that's 2 back-to-back attacks.
Cyclops just so dissecting Elevate's defense. They never find these opening kills from like a hard entry per per se. Like, they don't normally have someone in the building making loads of lines of sight with their gun up, for example. It's always something from a breach, something from a window, something from an angle that Elevate don't expect. And I think it just goes to show the experience and just how proficient Cyclops are on this map in comparison to Elevate. Elevate, with their inexperience on this map, running into lines of sight that will give them the free picks, not falling off on the roam quick enough, falling to the hammer and anvil kind of pushes. So here we're just seeing a very big difference in experience here between these two teams on this particular map.
Of course, while Elevate have infamously had 2 significant roster changes post-SI, losing Nerex to retirement and Napier as well, and seeing Mark and Mr. Punch, who have never played at this level. They've only played at...
Onigiri had in one of his interviews where he commented that Mark and Mr. Punch, they're new to the team. And their old coach, he commented that old coach had actually trained them very well in the basics. So they play good Siege, but they only play basic Siege. They're not at the level where they can flex for each other's roles. They know exactly what their other teammates are doing, and they know the maps inside out, or their teammates inside out, right? So I think that for Elevate, they have this sort of ongoing challenge of team synergy that Cyclops don't really have at the moment.
You just look at the repicks constantly. I love it. I love that you watch Cyclops every single round. They see what bomb site's being chosen, and they immediately change. Okay, no Carly, let's go for the Maverick. Okay, let's keep the Flores. The Yana was teased out for a moment, but you just look at this lineup. With Thatcher Band, it really doesn't matter. Kaid is out of the equation. You don't have to worry about hunting those Valkyrie cameras. You got the Maverick, you got Ace, you got Thermite. That's triple hard breach, and you have plenty of explosives. Maverick and Sledge have nades. You got Flores with 4 of the Rotero drones. Cyclops really have all the ingredients to address anything that they might find.
Having the triple hard breach also gives them a lot of flexibility on the choice of execute that they have. It also means they have a lot of redundancy in terms of hard breach too. So say you lose your ace, you can still go for a triple take if you wanted to. If you lose your Maverick, well, it's not so good for the hatches, but at least you have the ace on board to open up another hatch with your 2 Selma charges. So redundancies will give a lot of options for the late game here for Cyclops. So we'll have to see what they can do and if they can get into the site and drone it out quick enough and make that decision. So I think they've realized that there's no one roaming this time. They must have had some pre-placed cams, and Gatorada is already inside blue, starting to put pressure on those anchors.
That's one of the things that we've seen be so impressive from Cyclops. They are so fast. They are very quick, whether it's breaching walls on that gym attack, whether it's taking map control right here using those pre-placed drones. It's got to be. We didn't see them, but it's just got to be. With how quick Gatorada was in the building, you can see Suzu is now also droning out the entirety of Strip just to make sure that there are no rats in the corners back there. And indeed, Suzu's checked it. Elevate would be the kind of team to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, they would definitely put one of their players in the Hell in a Cell spot like that for sure. Gatorada is actually able to get open this floor with 1 minute and 50 seconds left to go, so that is incredible timing from Cyclops, and I suppose realizing early on that Elevate have given them the entire map for free. We also see Anderson, I think he's got his Maverick torch out open now, so must be working one of the hatches, or actually he's starting to get open dirt control as well, so already opening up many options. Things for Elevate to worry about even for Cyclops. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the mid-round droning will be, what information they can gather, or if they can find an early pick from some of the lines of sight that they make.
I was going to say I'd be interested if there's a C4, because we saw that previously in Kitchen. Elevate played that, but there's actually no C4s picked. We have 6 impact grenades. So Elevate is really going to lean into denying this Kitchen hatch. And guess what? Cyclops didn't bring the Hibana. They might have brought triple hard breach, but there is one hard breach they didn't bring, and that is the best hard breach for countering the impact trick. So to be honest, I don't really see Cyclops getting this hatch open.
Yeah, I agree with you. Perhaps Cyclops are going to change their approach. Maybe they won't go for a kitchen drop given the hard breach that they've got. Onigiri has just gone down to Suzu as well, and Anderson following up with a second kill as well. So Cyclops just managing to find some kills from open lines of sight, choking out those Elevate players. Maestro Cam will go down as well, but DCH will find one back onto Black Ray.
3 on 3 now, and it's gotten very messy very quickly here. Cyclops looking to recompose. Only 5 drones left, and well, 4 of those are able to be... Oh, that's a nice little way to drop the diffuser down the hatch. Oh my god, what an angle. Mr. Punch making great use of that shield. He plays off of it. It's just Suzu left now, coming in from blue. Takes 1, and DCH is down. It's a 1v1, and he's looking in the right place, but Mark just barely wins it. A very chaotic round, but Mark steals his nerves, and Elevate can finally get around.
That was well played there from Elevate. I guess identifying that Cyclops, they couldn't actually get that kitchen hatch open, which meant that the back of Arsenal was available to them to play, which is where I think we found 1 or 2 picks onto that triple wall. With the hard breach that Cyclops had, the most feasible push they had was either to do a blue or a triple take or a moto hatch drop. They couldn't do kitchen at all. So Elevate making space, making use of the space that they were given by Cyclops, and eventually able to choke out that attack since they had to funnel through, I guess, only 2 entry points at the end there. So well played from Elevate to identify what CAG could and couldn't do, even though they had so much pressure from the early round of CAG getting in and open all those vertical angles. So good composure from Elevate. They'll change and retry kitchen, not kitchen, gym and bedroom again, with Mark doing the same roam across. So it doesn't seem like the strategy is changing much here for Elevate, but I liked the new philosophy in that last round of playing more real back and on site. I hope we see it replicated this round.
Well, I think also for Elevate, all it takes is a couple of rounds for them to get that momentum back, to get things on their side. We saw they had a slow start to the stage. They lost their opening match to Renatus, and at that point, there was a lot of concern for this Elevate roster. People were saying, oh, these roster changes have hit them harder than we expected. Maybe they're merely a shadow of their former selves. They probably won't make the playoffs, let alone the major. And by the end of the season, the stage rather, they had absolutely proved everyone wrong. They had some standout performances, really took IG to the limit, had a great game against the Chiefs, and earned their spot in the playoffs. So if they bounce back during the stage, perhaps they can do so against Cyclops here on Cyclops' map pick.
And even in this round, we already see a change of pace here from Elevate. Beforehand, they left Mark on his lonesome on the other side. Now we see 3 players very clumped together here on this cache. They're starting to play with crossfires, and they've even got a shield up for the anticipated push through the breach. So I like the differences here from Elevate. I like that playing together, but it's not going to work if Airgate and Anaton entry like that.
Nice to see the Glads getting in the action. Mark goes down, and Mr. Punch, he's about to get a face full of lead. Black Ray right around the corner. Who moves first? Listen. Who gives away their position by moving? Everything you do in Siege makes noise. Mr. Punch had some idea, but it wasn't the right one. The pre-fire gives him away, and Black Ray turns this into a 5 versus 2 with more than half the round left to tick away.
This is a pretty common, I suppose, trend that we're seeing here from Cyclops. They're so good at the early round on Clubhouse. They know exactly what they need to do to get in the building, get their plays in positions where they can start fighting these defenders and choking them out. Black Ray now actually down below looking for a vertical nade as well, and just finding so many avenues now with the 5-on-2 advantage to be able to choke out these Elevate players, and they haven't even taken a gunfight with them yet. So a very impressive start from Cyclops in the early game, and those crossfires just not working out for Elevate.
Now the question for these 2 Elevate players, is it make a play or be patient and wait for Cyclops to make a mistake? Because Cyclops have not made many mistakes. But of course, if Elevate want to make a play, they might find themselves in a tricky position, as Onigiri just did. Sapping out 1 versus 5, 1 versus 4. Not a 1 versus 3, does trade. And with that, Cyclops go up 3 rounds to 1. Elevate might have found their first round, but Cyclops are not letting up.
Cyclops just have such a terrifying attack. I mean, they're finding these picks, especially in the mid-round to the late round, without even having walked into the building yet. That was an excellent entry onto, I suppose, the roam clear or the extension onto CCTV and cache from the ace player of all players as well. Airgator, he's just amazing with the AK. But yeah, I just feel like for Elevate, they need to reel it in somehow and not give up these picks on crosses. Even so, playing power positions is going to be very hard into the way that Cyclops are able to attack the bomb site too. They really take their time in the late round to open up walls. They don't send a player in unless they have to. I think it's an approach that does punish the way that Elevate plays since they're so antsy, and I think that they'll really struggle to find a way back into this defense round, to be honest, unless they change up their playstyle quite drastically.
Well, they have changed something quite drastically, and that's going to bar stage. You do not see this every day. This is a bomb site which we've seen teased out by a couple of different teams across various regions, but it is yet to make its way into being a staple bomb site. I still wouldn't even call it a tertiary. I would still say it is the 4th bomb site. But despite that, Elevate haven't gone cache CCTV yet, and are picking this before that, even before returning back to gym and bedroom for a 3rd time. So let's see if it works out for them. We've got the Okais, the Echo, we've got the castle barricades, but Cyclops have had the option to change as many operators as they want and bring exactly what they think they need to break this defense.
I don't mind this from Elevate. It's always quite exciting seeing Baron games with the extension over into gym and bedroom, but it seems like Cyclops, they're just going to do a linear push here. They're not going to roam clear the top floor. We can see they're not going for that same pinch, hammer and handful, try and get open all the windows and all the walls that they can. Instead, they're just sending in 1 or 2 players into the building only from one side, perhaps get some control into construction, and that is it. As long as the defenders do not have construction control, Suzu can get into the stage part of the bomb site and they can get the bomb down if they need to, or if they can. The thing they'll have to deal with here in the mid-round to late round is this echo. They're going to have to be a little bit quicker with this push if they want to do this one-way linear push in order to get the bomb down. And we actually see Sapper hiding in the basement, so it'll be very hard to kill him. They'll just have to find his yokai drones instead.
Keep Sapper in mind in the late round when you see those yokais coming out. He is down below. And he only has, does he have just 1 yokai left, I think? We did see one in Master above. Oh, look at that, up through the Logi hatch to get some info. That's very, very cheeky. I really like that. Needs to be careful though. He wants this yokai to stay alive for the execute at the end of the round. This is Cyclops stalling out a little bit. Question is, are they making some serious progress?
So I think earlier in the top down, we did actually just see 2 Cyclops players rotate over to the strip club side of the map as well. So that's Gatorada getting open the pool table window as well. So it seems like they have to change their approach into the bomb site, or they're just trying to get open both breaches here to pinch out those anchor positions in the bomb site. So we've seen they've gone to open the stock wall already, and now they're getting open the strip club wall as well. So Mr. Punch is going to be in a world of pain in a moment if DCH or his teammates don't help him out. Cyclops players poised all around the map, but only 45 seconds left to go, and the kit is still inside stock, not on the ground yet.
You can see the philosophy, though, from Cyclops. Open everything and expose Elevate. They will walk into our lines of sight. That said, Anderton has really struggled to do much with the Twitch drones from what I can see. He does find an entry, though. Mr. Punch goes down. 30 seconds left, and the smokes come out. Anderton starts going for that plant. Suzu goes down, and Anderton actually backs off, perhaps worried about the plant denial. The yokai comes through, gets taken down. Sapper's on for a flank now. He still has 1 yokai drone left, and Anderton's been taken down. Cyclops are falling apart. Mark has found 3 on the round, and Elevate, they find a second round and get 1 step closer to tying up this map.
Really well played there from Elevate to start to play the retake alongside the synthesis of the information from the yokai drone as well to stall out the execute there. Cyclops, they didn't have any redundancy left or time to reattempt the bomb plant again, and essentially just left them in a position where IOGate in a poor 1 versus 3 at the end. It's just so unwinnable for them. I think Cyclops, they had the right approach. They went for a linear take. They went, okay, let's open up 1 wall first and we'll I suppose, yeah, they're running out of time in the late round there, not committing to an idea I guess, early enough into the rounds, and eventually falling short to those yokai drones stalling out the mid to late round. So Cyclops' right idea still plays out into the philosophy of Clubhouse, but just not enough time to be able to do it.
That's good. I think that's why it was a good read from Elevate to go to bar stage. Cyclops is so well practiced on these other bomb sites that it's like clockwork, but even though Cyclops had a good strategy then, it's just 10 or 20 seconds makes a world of difference, doesn't it? And the fact that Elevate didn't succeed any picks early into the round and force Cyclops into that execute, the fact that Elevate had some good playmaking potential, plus those yokais to further stall out the round, just meant that it was theirs. But now, in the final round of the half, we see Cash CCTV finally come through the bomb site that Elevate have been dodging all match long. Instead of going back to gym and bedroom, instead of even going back to Church Arsenal, which they won previously, they're deciding to play the gamble on CCTV.
Elevate now changing their bomb site, changing the approach as well, but Cyclops actually bringing along the Glaz for their execute here. I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out. He can even get open the hatches with his DMR as well, so it gives the opportunity for Logi push to be done. And Suzu looking to trick the wall as well. This is not something that we've seen on Clubhouse in a long time. Wow.
I think Cyclops is the only team in the world I've seen do this trick.
Absolutely.
And you have to line up the X-Kairos absolutely perfectly, but just like the Maverick trick, all you have to do to remove the reinforcement from a wall is destroy the anchor points of the reinforcement. And they are in the top middle and the bottom middle. Let's see if it works. This could be beautiful.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is incredible. I absolutely love seeing that from Cyclops. That is not something that we see every day in Apex.
That's just showing off at this point.
I know, that is absolutely showing off. They could have brought a Carly. They know how to play Carly, and instead they go, no, we don't need that. We need a Glaz, and we'll just Hibana trick the wall instead. And Black Ray finding the second pick of this round as well. Wow, this is just such an impressive showing from Cyclops onto this bomb site, being able to clear things that in ways that we don't normally see.
Cyclops, they will always go for the stylish option. That is Cyclops.
Absolutely.
Even if it's perhaps not the most logical or effective option, they will go for the stylish option. And that's why they are so beloved in and outside of Japan. Now the wall completely breached, the soft part destroyed by Gatorada. And this 5 versus 3 is really everything that Cyclops needs. They just really need to be looking to start taking either control of Cash and looking for an execute into Con and executing into Cash, or they need to start clearing out Mark here, who's still holding Rafters in Garage.
So we do see Suzu now in Con. He is starting to get open the wall into the bomb site as well, alongside Aegator, who's able to ace charge this wall, actually creating lots of lines of sight. The player behind the boxes or on top of Red is about to be in a world of pain, and I think it's just been taken down by Suzu as well. 2 versus 5 situation, 38 seconds left to go, and the execute is going down.
And there is so much time on the clock. Anderson peeking dry with no smoke, finds one, traded back. Sapper 1 versus 4. What have you got, mate, to win the half? Cyclops looking very, very nice. 3 gas babes in the pocket, but not able to use any, perhaps. Oh, another great shot. Can he get the 1 versus 2 now? It is so winnable for Sapper. This could be the 1 versus 5 ace if he wins it from here, but Black Ray just steals it away, crushes that dream. And Cyclops can take the half, 4-2.
Oh my gosh, Cyclops would have been sweating after that one. 1 versus 5, but I mean, of all plays, of course Sapper is there to do it. He's an absolute demon on the SMG-11 and just, wow, such an amazing player for Elevate as well. But eventually, Cyclops not falling short and are able to take the round that was very rightfully theirs, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was flawless, right? It was flawless up until Sapper almost 1v5'd.
Flawless just on the opening picks in the micro games. They're playing these micro games to perfection and to ways that Elevate and we probably even haven't seen before. So this is so exciting to watch from Cyclops. I wonder if they can translate the success into the defense half as well.
That would be very telling. And also, it only takes a par 3-3 defense for CAG to win this in regulation. Now, we're not in the regular season anymore. We're not in APAC North or APAC South. This is playoffs. This is a BO3. So what that means, if we go to overtime, it's not 1 point for you, 2 points for me, any of that. No, it's just win the map and you get 1 point on for the series. 2 points. You win 2 maps out of the 3 that we're going to play, you are through to the next round. And that round will be, well, a fantastic game facing Damwon Kia, who have been phenomenal in and outside of APAC. And that match tomorrow between one of these teams and Damwon will be for a spot at the 6 Major in Charlotte. So they'll be fighting very hard, and I mean, Cyclops is looking very close to being 1 map up in the series if they can keep this momentum onto their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite excited to see whether Cyclops can play the defense as well as, I guess, as well as their attack half was. They're now sort of doing a kind of roam, but they have the anchor, I guess, operators, if that makes sense. Like, they're still roaming, but they're not playing your SSG roam operators. So when they do fall back to the site, they'll still have some utility. So I don't mind this roam from Cyclops, but unfortunately, Black Ray going down, that is your Jaeger, so it's not too detrimental. But Elevate, they've just gotten into the building. Sapper's actually managed to cut off Bar. Gatorada, he can't rotate back up the main stairs and help his teammates that I think are still left on the top floor, perhaps. Oh no, maybe they've all fallen off now. 4 players left. That's okay. So now, yeah, Elevate making very quick work of the Cyclops roam, but that's okay for Cyclops. They still have the operators they need. They still have 2 plant denial as well with the Wamai and the Jaeger as well. So I don't mind that from Cyclops, but Elevate just playing that early game to perfection.
Anderson, though, still poses a threat on the roam. The question is, will Elevate let him do something to them? Or will they make sure to punish? Sapper has been on fire and he seems to be very wary of that position on main stairs. Anderson bides his time waiting for his moment. He has been droned out, and now it's the question for Annie. Does he go for a play and try and get back to site, try and take 1 player with him, or does he wait patiently and let them push him? Which could burn more time, but also could lead to the round loss. Sapper holding the correct angle, Anderton does not want to feed just yet. He'd much rather bide his time.
So Elevate, they need to start working on this mid round, but of course they're working on the mid round with the, I guess the side worry of poor Anderton as well, roaming on the top floor. So they have to be wary of their flanks as well. I think we can see Onigiri, DCH, and Sapper all on drones. So looking, I suppose, looking for that flank, making sure they have the flank watch down, so DCH can start making that vertical and start using the little hard breach charge to open up the hatches that are necessary for the execute here. So good timing from Elevate and still good micro play to hold on to this position from Anderton. Sapper is actually cutting off his rotate back down the main stairs here as well. So 38 seconds left to go. Elevate, they're going to have to mount some kind of execute, but still Anderton is posing a threat to them.
It's a question of whether Anderton pushes before Elevate execute, because Sapper is watching. Anderton knows it, so he doesn't want to move too early. But if his teammates on site start to die, he will have no choice. Cyclops really feeling that pressure, and DCH says, we can't sit and wait forever, let's go get him. But Sapper, meanwhile, falls. Mr. Punch going to get refragged here in blue. Suzu for the double, that's 3 kills on the round! And Alligator to clean up the final 2. A round which looked to be all Elevate gets won by just 2 defenders, and Cyclops are storming through this map.
I'm a really big fan of the way that Cyclops actually played that roam. They played that roam still with quite high contention, you know. They were still on the top floor, also in bar, using some of those power positions for as long as they could, but they didn't forfeit any utility. Typically when we see that type of SSG roam very, very high up on the top floor, we'll see by the time that the operators get back to the site again, they don't have any utility to stall out the execute or stall out the push because there's no smoke, there's no Goyo, there's no shields or something like that, right? So Cyclops both able to keep Anderton on that top floor, making Elevate worry, and still both the smoke. I think we also saw a Go canister stalling out that blue hatch drop and the kitchen hatch drop as well. So I'm just really impressed with the way that they were able to play that basement site. We don't normally see teams able to play that so much flexibility with the operators that they had. So I think, yeah, really well played from them. Elevate just taking a little bit too much time, getting worried in the mid round of Anderton, and then, yeah, the execute was just so difficult with the Goyo and the smoke. So really well played from Cyclops.
And a lot of these rounds come down to micro decision making and game sense, and that's a strength of both of these teams. Individually, players like Anderton, he could have flanked a lot earlier. He really could have, but he didn't. And not doing so meant that even though eventually he died and didn't find a kill, it didn't matter. He had done his job. He had occupied Sapper for that entire round, and he had burnt time, so much of it, away from Elevate. And it's little micro decisions like that that are the strengths of these players and micro plays. Like a spawn peek, was that a spray through the wall or just a spawn peek? I have no idea. Perhaps Sapper punched the wall and pre-fired through. I don't know what happened, but Alligator gets a free kill out of it.
Yeah, Cyclops, they're really showing how proficient they are at Clubhouse. They know exactly what gunfights they need to take. They know the entry points. They even know the small cutoff angles. I assume Sapper was looking for the cutoff angle onto the rafters window there. That Alligator was like, oh, well, they're going to do that. I'll just pre-fire through the wall. And there we go. That's the entry pick of the round. So Cyclops, they're just so proficient at this map. They're so proficient, they don't need to bring the conventional operators on their attack. They don't need to play the SSG roam with SSG roam operators. They just know how to play Clubhouse.
You mentioned entry kills and opening deaths. That is something that has been just haunting Elevate this entire match. Elevate have only found 2 opening picks across the 8 rounds that we have seen so far. Cyclops has dominated the early round on attack and now on defense as well.
Cyclops, they just know where to look. I'm not sure what else to say. They just know exactly where Elevate are going to be, what angles they're going to be passing through, and how they're going to try and rotate throughout the map. So Elevate, they're going to have to change their push a little bit here if they don't want to get caught out by some pre-fire like Alligator was able to pull off. So now getting the Jacuzzi wall open, that's good control here from Elevate, and they'll have to start working on pushing out that bathroom power position, top main, and Logi. So we see Mr. Punch there, also on top of the Logi hatch. We'll get that hatch open, and DCH is actually able to find a cutoff kill on the other side of the map. So bringing it back for Elevate, but Onigiri swung on by Anderton, and that bathroom power position, you can't walk at it like that. Oh my gosh!
Anderton, the second wall bang of the round for Cyclops. Yeah, absolutely. Anderton was really left to his own devices there. Attempted playmaking from the attack side did not work out. That's not so bad from Mr. Punch. A 2v3 is certainly winnable. 2v2 is even more winnable. DCH and Mr. Punch, they got to step up. They got a lot of utility to work with in terms of the sledgehammer and that grenade. that Mr. Punch still has in his pocket. These two Cyclops players have fallen back and they wait patiently. 20 seconds left on the clock for Elevate to make an execute happen. And Cyclops are playing passive. It's on Elevate to make a move and Aniton is there ready to receive. He's found his third on the round. He's looking for number 4. There it is. And Cyclops managed to maintain all the way to match point.
So I think in that round, just trying to clear out Aniton in that bathroom position, we already saw such a big difference in the proficiency in Clubhouse between the two teams. When Cyclops were attacking that bomb site, they were able to get that bathroom wall open with ease with the power of grenades, the extra hard breach that they were able to switch onto as well, and eventually just able to choke out that power position rather than having to force the entry, which is what Elevate have been doing to get themselves into the building, right? Aniton, he knows how to play that power position. You're not going to be able to win that gunfight, so I think it's just a very big game philosophy difference between these two teams, particularly on this attacking half that we can see here. So I think now they're going to change bomb sites as well, having won that one, and looking for a more extended roam as well onto bar games of all things as well. So bringing out the Mozzie and bringing out the Vigil as well is going to make clearing that top floor very difficult for Elevate, and Elevate already struggling, like you said, with those early picks. So we'll have to see whether they can approach this bomb site more cautiously.
Yeah, I really like that from Cyclops. This is going to be an exciting prospect to see how they interpret bar. I think it's kind of funny. You see the little the icon? It makes it look like they're repicking in prep phase. That don't let your eyes deceive you. You cannot repick if you are a defender. That must have been just like maybe they picked it late in the pick phase or something.
That's
but
interesting. I've never seen that. Yes.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. Gutterata is playing Vigil. Black Ray is playing Alibi. We do see repicks, proper repicks on the attacking side. However, the Flores and the Ace managed to slip in. Thermite also present. We remember how well that Thermite opened up lines of sight for Cyclops when the Japanese were attacking this bomb site. But really, I'm just interested in the early round. I want to know whether Cyclops is going to get in Elevate's faces, whether they're going to find these early picks once again.
So Cyclops leaning into this mute and the Vigil and the Mozzie combo to try and stall out this entry coming in from Elevate, and they haven't been very good at it so far. Even on the defense, they've been opening death as well. So Aegator already getting in the face of possible entry point here through CCTV. While I'm not entirely sure where Gutterata's been playing. Okay, there we go, early entry through Strip as well. So already looking for that entry denial as well. Onigiri actually able to find the first pick onto Black Ray, but Gutterata runs out and trades onto Sapper. Oh my gosh, what is happening in this round?
It's a really aggressive play from Cyclops, but that's what you get here in APAC. All players are cracked, and if there's an opportunity to find a kill, even if it means taking a big risk, you bet your bottom dollar these players are going to be going for it. Gutterata still persists alive on this roam. Gator is upstairs with Suzu to boot. A much more loose hold defense compared to what we saw from Elevate on this bomb site. It is Elevate who have a significant health advantage now after doing quite a bit of damage to two of these CAG players. My question is, will they actually have a solid foundation to launch into site? Will they have a breach? Because it doesn't look like they've done so just yet.
So the important thing about the execute they're trying to do here, we see Mark here holding the diffuser.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that completely throws my point out the window anyway, because I was going to comment the most important thing is that you have stock control and you have stage control. You can't get stage control if you know that there are defenders in con, and I think Suzu's just got a kill from con as well, so it's going to be impossible to get into stage and get that bomb down if the player on the defense player is still watching the hatch, is still watching the execute through the hatch. So Onigiri having to enter the site here, proning and trying to contest the hatch angle. This is not the ideal way to be fighting vertical, and just Elevate not quite able to find an in into the map and an in into these top 4 players holding that vertical.
Match point for Cyclops. Elevate yet to win a defense, and Onigiri goes down. It is now time for Cyclops to clean up DCH and call this a 1-0 scoreline on for the series. DCH has 3 players on the other side to find. A 1 versus 3. It'll have to be a huge clutch, and they're not letting him in it. They're going to keep teasing him, keep peeking him, waste his time. 20 seconds now, no diffuser in sight. Going to go upstairs, and man, this is just a done deal for Cyclops. Good half. The series is 1-0 to the Japanese.
I think it just goes to show Cyclops know how to play Clubhouse. It is why they picked the map. They played that map to perfection, dissecting every defense, attacking perfectly. Just I can't take anything away from them. That